In the dawn of August 29, 1958, as the first rays of sun broke through the thick clouds over the small industrial town of Gary in Indiana, a special soul began its journey on Earth. In a modest family home on Jackson Avenue, amidst the bustling sounds of morning life, a boy was born who would one day become more than just an ordinary man. He would become a legend. Michael Joseph Jackson, the seventh of 9 children of Catherine and Joseph Jackson, came into the world accompanied by melodies of joy and hope. His mother, a devout woman with an angelic voice, sang songs that filled the house with warmth and light, while his father, a strict steel mill worker and occasional musician, looked upon his youngest son with a mix of pride and great expectations. The small house on Jackson Avenue was full of life, laughter, and most importantly, music. The walls echoed with the rhythms of blues and jazz, while the older brothers practiced on their instruments, creating a symphony that was both chaotic and wonderful. In this noisy environment, Michael discovered his first language, the language of music. At that time, no one could have imagined how this boy would transform the world of music, how his dance steps would become legendary, how his voice would touch the hearts of millions. Joseph, his father, a man of firm character and piercing gaze, was the first to notice something special in Michael. While other kids played outside, Michael would stay inside, enraptured by the music that filled his world. He sang before he learned to properly form words, his unclear childhood melodies echoing through the house, full of heart and some inexplicable passion. Joseph, recognizing the talent smoldering in his youngest son, began to include him in family music sessions. At first, Michael just stood and listened, absorbing every sound, every movement, but it didn't take long for his voice to join the chorus. And when he did, the world stopped to listen. His voice, though young and unpolished, had something unusual, something that transcended the limits of his youthful experience. It was a voice that carried emotion far beyond the years of the one who sang it. When he sang, the whole house would fall silent, listening to the incredible purity and depth that came from such a small body. In the heart of this young boy, the winds of destiny began to whisper promises of future triumphs, of stages that would one day be his playground, of a world that would one day know him not as Michael from Gary, but as Michael Jackson, the king of pop, the man who would forever change the face of music. When Joseph Jackson, the father and architect of this family endeavor, decided to gather his sons and form the band Jackson 5, he had little idea how far their musical journey would take them. Michael, still a young man at the time, quickly became the core of the group. With his irresistible voice, which was both raw and touching at the same time, infectious energy, and an incredible sense of rhythm, it didn't take long before he overshadowed his brothers and became the star that would lead Jackson 5 to success. Their first major song, I Want You Back, exploded onto the music scene like a meteor. Suddenly, Jackson 5 was not just another family band from a small town. They were a symbol of all that was possible. Their success was not just in numbers or awards. It was in the smiles on the faces of those who listened to their music, in the dance of feet moving to the rhythm of their songs, in dreams that seemed a little more attainable every time their music echoed through the radio waves. In those few short years, Jackson 5 didn't just top charts and win the hearts of fans. They started a revolution. They showed the world that music could be a bridge that connects, a language everyone understands, and a force that can change the world. And at the heart of that revolution, with a smile that lit up every corner, stood Michael Jackson, a boy who became more than a star. He became the voice of a generation, a symbol of all that music could be. As the stage lights and the euphoria around Jackson 5 continued, a new spirit awoke within Michael, a desire for independent expression, for musical autonomy that would allow him to show the world his full artistic vision. Leaving behind the safety and familiarity of Jackson 5, Michael stepped into the uncertainty of a solo career. It was not an easy step. It was as if he was renouncing a part of himself, a part of his past. But at the same time, it was a step he had to take to evolve, to become the artist he felt he could be. The beginnings were challenging. Michael had to fight against the stigma of a former child star and prove that he was more than the lead singer of a popular family band. But he was not just seeking success, he was seeking innovation, striving to create something that would leave a lasting mark on the world of music. Then came Thriller. The album was released in 1982, at a time when the world of music was already full of lights and shadows, but nothing could prepare the audience and critics for what Michael had prepared. Thriller was not just a collection of songs, it was a work of art, a combination of sound, style, and performance that pushed the boundaries of what pop music could be. Every song on the album was a story in itself, from the pulsating rhythms of Billie Jean to the dark Gothic atmosphere of the title track Thriller. Michael was not just singing, he was storytelling, acting, conveying emotions that transcended ordinary lyrics. His music, with its layered arrangements and complex harmonies, was like an orchestra for one man, while his vocals, powerful and full of emotion, were an instrument in themselves. The success of Thriller was unprecedented. The album became the best-selling album of all time, symbolizing not only the pinnacle of Michael's career, but also the moment when pop music entered a new era. Michael Jackson, once a young singer from Jackson 5, was now alone at the top, an incomparable force in the world of music. His ability to blend genres, to experiment with sound and visual art, established him as an innovator, an artist whose work defined an entire generation. With each new height Michael Jackson reached, the shadow that followed his brilliant path became darker and deeper. Fame, which initially was a guiding star, slowly began to transform into an unrelenting pressure that weighed heavily on his shoulders. In that world, where the stage lights were bright, the shadows were even darker, and Michael's dance within them grew more complex. The world he created around himself was full of wonders, but also of isolation. His home, the legendary Neverland, was a dream place, an oasis of imagination and wonder, but also walls that separated him from the outside world. In his own kingdom, Michael was both a king and a prisoner, surrounded by the love of his fans, but often distanced from the reality that surrounded him. Media attention, once benevolent, became intense and often cruel. Every step he took, every word he spoke, every choice he made became the subject of relentless analysis and speculation. Michael's eccentric lifestyle, his transformations, and the controversies that followed him became constant tabloid fodder. The image created by the media was often distorted, more a reflection of their assumptions and expectations than of the real Michael Jackson. With fame came personal demons, battles he fought behind closed doors. Michael's relationship with his identity, his appearance, and his health was complex and often painful. Under pressure to always look and act in a certain way, he faced internal conflicts that were as challenging as those from the outside world. His music, though still magical, began to reflect this struggle. Songs like Leave Me Alone and Scream were echoes of his frustrations and desire for understanding. His artistic expression, while still brilliant, was often marked by these internal conflicts. Michael's life offstage became as intriguing and complex as his musical career. His private life, especially his marriages and parenthood, brought a new dimension to his already intricate world. He married Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of the legendary Elvis Presley, in 1994, a marriage that attracted significant media attention. Although their marriage was short-lived, it was a period that showed a different side of Michael, one that yearned for love, stability, and normalcy amidst the unusual life he led. His second marriage to Debbie Rowe, a nurse he met while treating for vitiligo, was another step towards realizing his dream of family life. With Debbie, he had 2 children, Prince and Paris, opening a new chapter in his life, that of a father. This aspect of his life, though often hidden from public view, was filled with love and dedication. Michael found a new source of joy and inspiration in parenthood, and his love for his children was undeniable. Yet, despite all these challenges, Michael's artistry did not lose its strength. In his darkest moments, his music was a source of light, not just for him, but for millions of his fans around the world. He remained an artist in the truest sense of the word, capable of conveying emotions and experiences in a way few could. On June 25, 2009, the world stood still. The news of Michael Jackson's unexpected passing spread at the speed of light, leaving behind a silence that echoed with pain and disbelief. That day, forever etched in the annals of history, marked the end of a monumental era, as well as the beginning of an eternal legacy that will outlive time. Michael Jackson, a man who had been in the spotlight from a young age, captivating the world with his voice and movements, suddenly left the stage of life, leaving behind a void that seemed impossible to fill. It was a shock not only to millions of fans around the world, but also to the entire music industry, which had lost one of its brightest stars. Michael's influence on the world of music and culture was immeasurable. He was not just a singer, dancer, or entertainer. He was an artist in the truest sense of the word, an innovator who bridged the boundaries of genres, cultures, and generations. His music was not just a collection of hits, it was the soundtrack of many lives, accompanying moments of joy, sorrow, love, and inspiration. His unique and recognizable style became iconic, influencing fashion, dance, video production, and artistic expression. His dance moves, like the legendary Moonwalk, became part of the global cultural heritage, while his music videos set new standards in the world of music production. Although his physical departure was tragic, his legacy remained vibrant and indestructible. Michael Jackson was not just an artist. He was a phenomenon whose work transcended generational, cultural, and geographical boundaries. His music continues to resonate through generations. His videos continue to inspire artists around the world, and his spirit still lives in the hearts of those who loved him. In this final act, in the conclusion of a story that was as spectacular as it was tragic, Michael Jackson left the world enriched with his talent, his passion, and his artistry. Through his life and work, he showed what it means to live life to the fullest, to battle one's demons, and to leave a mark that will never fade. In every lyric, in every movement, in every moment of his existence, Michael Jackson was and remained more than just a man. He was a legend, a symbol, and an eternal inspiration.